You are a, you are a scholar, sir. Thank you very much. So, uh, I want everybody just to feel relaxed, feel chilled. You know what I mean? We don't judge anybody on this platform. There's no critiquing. The aim is just to basically share, give everybody a little bit of wisdom. And by doing that, everybody the confidence if they want to chime in and share a specific, they can do. That being said, I'm going to share my screen. If you have a screen, you can see it, and I'm gonna get the ball running. Um, okay, let's have a look. Okay, I'm hoping you can all see my screen. For those who don't know, my name is Pi. I'm a mathematical lecturer by trade. So let me start by pulling back the curtains just a little. I go by the name of Pi. Yes, like the mathematical constant, but with its own twist. I'm a mathematical lecturer, investigator, and motivator. But I don't just crunch numbers. I crack codes of human experiences through them, whether it's solving equations or untangling life patterns. Mathematics has always been my language of truth. I'm into more than digits, though. I'm a lover of old school soul music, hip hop, real groove, jazz, classical music, and of course, reggae music. I find rhythm in the world around me just like I do in numbers. My family, they are the anchor and the fuel. And everything I do, especially in education, is about illuminating the overlooked, the hidden patterns, the connections that set people free. And as a mathematical investigator, my aim is to make the truth not only visible, but vibrant and enjoyable and real for as many people as possible. Alrighty. So what is the aim of this presentation? Now, I know what you're thinking, maths and wellness, how do those things even sit on the same table? But stay with me. This presentation, like a good slice of pie, has layers. And I'm here to present, inform, and entertain. And that's the pie. And through those lenses, I want to empower you to take a good look, not just around you, but within you. Because often we're so deep in the picture that we forget there's a frame. We operate on autopilot, not realizing that some things as we don't, how do I put this? We operate on autopilot, not realizing that something as invisible as your gut microbiome can be influencing your mood, your focus, and even your choice. So today's presentation, the silent equation. Now, from the equations of mathematics to the silent equation within our own bodies. That's what brings us to the real focus of today's session. Excuse me. The silent equation, the microbiome secret. So let's unpack what's really running the show behind the scenes of your health, your energy, and even your mood. So here's a question for you. So before we dive any deeper into the science or the maths, let's pause for a moment and ask a deceptively simple question. Who are you? That's the question. Who are you? Now, I'm not referring to your job title. I'm not referring to your Instagram bio. Not what people expect of you, but when the noise quiets, when no one's watching, who are you really? See, this image says a lot. It says a cat seeing a lion in its reflection. And it's not about delusion, it's about potential. Many of us are walking around with lion level power, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. But we're trapped in habits, patterns, and systems that keep us curled up like kittens. And here's the twist. Sometimes what's keeping the lion asleep isn't mindset. It isn't motivation. It's mathematics and biology. It's your internal ecosystem, your gut, your nervous system, your microbiome, quietly shaping how you show up. The question of identity isn't about mindset, it's about microbes. So if you've ever felt like your energy, clarity, or courage is out of sync with who you believe yourself to be, you're not broken, you're biologically and mathematically out of tune. And that's why this next section is called the silent equation. So let's look into the microbiome's secret role and how reclaiming your health from the inside could just reawaken the lion. All right. So, what are your health goals? Now that we've scratched the surface of who you are, let's shift the gears and ask. And I'm going to ask the question, what are your health goals? Not the polished ones you say out loud at the start of January. I'm talking about the ones you whisper to yourself late at night when you're tired of performing strength instead of feeling it. Is it energy? Is it better sleep? Is it less brain fog? Is it stable moods? Is it less information? Or maybe it's even deeper than that. A desire to reconnect with a vision of yourself you have lost touch with. One that wasn't running on fumes, caffeine, or whatever. And too often we're set up with goals that fight against our mathematics. This next stretch of the journey isn't about changing that. It's about walking with the body's natural intelligence to realign, reset, and remember how good it's supposed to feel to be you. So as we move forward, hold your goal in mind. We're about to explore how your internal ecosystem, your microbiome, could be the silent key to unlocking it. So, the veil of perception. We all have one of those. Before we talk microbes, inflammation, or anything mathematical, we need to talk about something far more subtle. Perception. What if I told you that most people aren't living in reality? They're living in a story about reality. A story shaped by what they've been taught, sold, conditioned to believe. This slide, the veil of perception, is a reminder. What you see isn't always what is. When it comes to health, we've been trained to react to symptoms. If you're tired, take a pill. If you're bloated, blame the food. If you're anxious, you must be stressed. But beneath the surface is a quiet system running the show. The gut-brain axis, the immune patterns laid in childhood, the trauma no one saw but your cells never forgot. We are not what we see in the mirror. We are what we perceive through a mirror, shaped by lifestyle, media, even inherited beliefs. And if we don't lift the veil, we stay treating shadows instead of the root. So the question I want to ask is, how many of you wear a mask? How many of you have a number of friends and your friends don't even really know who you are, what you really are all about, and what you're suffering from? Because many of us, we turn up with a smile, we turn up looking financially secure or what have you, and everybody assumes based on how you look, based on their perception. But that is not the case. But that just allows us space so that we can hide behind, so people don't really know exactly what we are going through. So, the most dangerous pain isn't always visible. A bit like the mask, right? It's not the heart attack or the surgeries, it's the silence. Did you know depression is now the #1 cause of global disability? I'll say it again. Depression is now the #1 cause of global disability. And Depression comes in many strands. And when we're sick, our confidence hits rock bottom, especially us men. You know, we don't want to talk to anybody. We stick our head in the sand, and we just hope the issue will go away. And just like many of us on this platform, it has to be a woman who drags us kicking and screaming in front of a product that actually works. And we want to ask them 901 questions about the product. And when we go to the doctors to get a tablet or get whatever it is we get, we never ask any questions. Eh? So, as I mentioned, depression is now the number one cause of global disability. Over 280 million people are living with it, many undiagnosed, most unsupported, not because they're weak, but because their um, biology is out of balance. Because this is where science meets reality. Let's look at this. 90% of serotonin, which is your brain's mood stabilizer, is made in the gut, not the brain. Inflammation is also down there. The brain gets one message: we are not safe. And the result is you treat, you shut down, and you disengage. So if there's inflammation going, that signal is sent to the brain via the vagus nerve, which suggests to me that our brain just functions off of signals. It responds to signals. So when the right signals are not there, it's not going to respond correctly. But here's the hope. If you rebuild the gut, if you restore the signal, you can reclaim yourself. This isn't spiritual fluff, family. It's cellular facts. Cellular facts. 1 in 8 men has a mental health condition, but less than 1 in 3 seek help. 1 in 8 men has a mental health condition, but less than 1 in 3 seek help. Why? Because silence is still mislabeled as strength. Not only that, many of us as men, when we're ill, we're afraid and we don't want to admit that. The majority of men feel more than they say, compared to women who say more but carry too much. And our children are absorbing the pressures before they understand it. And the system still treating symptoms instead of listening to signals. So the bottom line here is this is no longer just a mental health issue. It's a human health crisis with the roots in the gut and answers in the nervous system. So it's time to stop asking what's wrong with you and start asking what happened to your gut microbiome. Did you know there are 970 million minds and counting walking around globally with mental health issues? That scope is global. The silence is loud. 970 million people. That's not just a number. That's more than an entire population of Europe. That's almost twice all of North America. 1 in every 8 human beings on Earth is mentally struggling right now. Not on paper, in real life. At work, in bed, behind the smile, behind the wheel. And most are doing it silently and invisibly, especially us men. And there's no cast, there's no crutches, and there's no visible scars. Just wait. When nearly 1 billion minds are out of balance, it doesn't just affect individuals. It warps culture, economies, families, and futures. So this isn't just about who's sick. This is about what systems keep us that way, keep us struggling. This isn't personal, family. It's planetary. Every 7 seconds, diabetes claims a life. Right now, 4.4 million people in the UK live with diabetes. 26% of the men are more likely to be hit. Why? Because we have more visceral fat, more insulin resistant, earlier and deadlier complications. But here's a twist. Diabetes isn't just about sugar. It's about chronic inflammation, metabolic overload, and a gut that's lost control. Now, your microbiome helps regulate blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, and fat storage. When it is off, everything spirals. So here's the thing. You can reverse this, but you can't ignore it. And the same imbalance that fuels diabetes, it feeds the next threat. Cholesterol, I call this the quiet clog. Cholesterol doesn't shout, it sneaks. In the UK, 77% of men aged between 45 and 64 have elevated cholesterol. That's between 45 and 64. For women, the numbers rise sharply post-menopause due to hormonal shifts. Now, this isn't abstract. It's your arteries, it's your hormones, it's your future. Clogged vessels. They don't just lead to heart attacks, family. They lead to strokes, fatigue, and erectile dysfunction. Often years before your first hospital visit. And yes, your gut is right in the mix. Your gut processes fat, it clears out toxins, it regulates your lipid balance, and even impacts estrogen and testosterone. So here's the thing. If you fix the gut, protect the heart, and then you live with clarity, not clots. But it's not just the heart at risk when toxins don't leave. Something worse builds up. Cancer. Delay is deadly. 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women. That's the cancer forecast in the UK. Can you believe that? That's the forecast, you know. Men die from cancer 40% more often than women. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because we delay, we avoid, we rationalize, we stick our head in the sand. Cancer of the prostate, lungs, liver, and bowels, often preventable, often treatable, but only if we stop ghosting our symptoms and denying and sticking our head in the sand. And here's what's often missed. Your gut is your body's detox point. It's your immune base, and it's an early warning system. Now, a disrupted gut means toxins linger, inflammation spike, and cancer risk climbs. It's not me saying this, family. This is an actual fact. You can't heal what you won't face, and you can't fight cancer with a broken filter. And if that sounds heavy, wait till you see how aging speeds up silently. Because this is no joke, family. This really is no joke.
Hi, Brother
Dementia.
Pi.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, I think Brother Lance is trying to get in. Let me just verify him for a second, please.
Go ahead.
Hi, Brother Lance, can you hear us? Hi, Brother Lance, can you hear us? Okay, back over to you, Brother Pi.
Is Brother Lance acknowledging?
Um, I let him in, but it doesn't seem like he's good. But let me try again. I see him coming back.
Yeah, try again.
Hi, Brother Lance. Can you hear us?
He's entered the waiting room a few times because I can see him popping up.
Brother Lance, can you hear us? Brother Lance, he's in, but I don't think his audio is coming in. You could go ahead, Brother Pi.
Is his audio connected? You should be able to see.
Yeah, he's connected, but I can see him from my end, but I don't know he's picking up from his end.
Because here's the thing. My allegiance is to those who we have qualified. To
Brother
all of those on
Lance,
the platform, my allegiance is to those. Those who come in and are not qualified themselves, we can't allow them to stay because we don't know who they are. So
Yeah, I can hear you.
beautiful, my
okay,
brother.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear
We just wanted to verify that you could hear us and you're there. So go ahead, Brother Pi. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Lance. Respect you being here. Dementia, family. Now, you might be 50 on paper, but biologically, you could be pushing 70. And when that gap widens, your brain takes the hit. I'm going to say that again. You might be 50 on paper, but biologically and mathematically, you could be pushing 70. When that gap widens, your brain takes the hit. Why do I say this? Well, studies show that if your biological age outpaces your real age, your risk of dementia jumps by 30%. In the UK, 1 in 11 over 65 has dementia. So if there's 11 men on the platform, one of us has issues with dementia. Now, it's not me saying this. These are actual facts. This is why I love mathematics. Because whereas people lie, numbers align. They don't lie. Now, if we have 1 in 11 over 65 who has dementia, that's nearly 1 million people, which is expected to double by 2040. Brother Alex, you put your hand up there? Sorry.
Yes, Brother Pi. We have Brother Ryan. I just need to verify him. I'm going to let him in now so I can verify him.
Go ahead, my brother.
Hi, Brother. Good afternoon, Brother Ryan. Are you there? Brother Ryan, are you able to hear us? Brother Ryan, can you hear us clearly?
Again, it's really important that
Yeah.
we qualify.
Hello,
There you
hey,
go.
brother
Yes,
Pete. Yeah, I've said I'm able to hear you, but I may cut off in a few. I am on the road and I just realized my phone has 2%.
Ah, dear.
And it will
no
take me
problem.
about 25 minutes to commute.
Oh, no
Okay,
worries.
no problem.
Okay.
All right,
All right, then.
good. Okay,
All
good.
righty. All righty.
Right.
So as we mentioned, in the UK, 1 in 11 over 65 has dementia, right? That's nearly 1 million people and that's expected to double by 2040. Now, in the US, where there's 6 million who live with Alzheimer's, and 2/3 are women. And that's due to hormone-driven gut and immune differences. Brain scans show grey matter loss, but here's the caveat. Here's the pivot. The gut-brain axis, which is the superhighway between digestion and cognition, is modifiable. What does that mean? That means you can reset your gut and you start to rewind the clock, not just physically, cognitively, because health isn't just about living longer. It's about staying sharper, stronger, saner as you do. And I want to share a point with you all while you're while you're all on the platform. For those who are not aware, your health is not mythical. I'll say that again. Your health is not mythical. It's mathematical. Why do I say this? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. If you go to the doctors and you are diagnosed with an illness, they prescribe to you medicine, tablets, whatever it is. And you have to take them over a period of time, whether it be a month, 2 months, or 3 months, whatever it is, they put a time on it, and then you go back for a checkup. So that suggests to me that they've given you something that's supposed to make you better. And so when you go back, you're supposed to see some level of improvement. So that shows that your health is not mystical. It's mathematical. Now, how many of us are on medication and we've been on it for years and it's done nothing? The only thing constant about it is that you go and pick it up every month or every week or whenever you do. I've seen people with dustbin bag loads of medication and they've had the symptoms or illness for years. But when a product is brought in front of us that we can testify that works, we want to know everything about it, even the things we don't know about it, you want to know. But what they are subscribing in the hospitals and the big pharmaceuticals, nobody asks any questions. No questions whatsoever. I just thought I'd leave that one with you. Right. Every illness we've covered so far in the start starts with a whisper. The gut doesn't just digest food, it regulates everything. Your mood, your hormones, immunity, blood, sugar, inflammation. This is the silent equation. Gut imbalance is equal to whole system chaos. So you don't need hype, you need harmony. This is your call to tune in. Heal the gut, heal the man. And when I say harmony, I don't know if any of you have ever heard a classical orchestra warming up before they start playing. It sounds like absolute chaos. Every instrument just playing its own thing. And it's only when the conductor taps his baton, that's a bit like the P84, that harmony reigns. And then when you hear the music, it sounds so calm and soothing and beautiful, and it's all synchronized. Well, that is really what we're talking about with the gut microbiome. So for the 5 chronic conditions, depression, diabetes, high cholesterol, cancer, and dementia, they all have different labels, but they all have the same origin story. Where does it all start? It starts in the gut. 70% of your immune system is the gut. 90% of your serotonin, your mood stabilizer, in the gut. Blood, sugar, fat, metabolism, chronic inflammation all begin where? In the gut. The gut isn't just a digestive pipe, it's the control tower of your entire body. A 100 trillion cell microbiome, directing your immunity, hormones, energy, and even your thoughts. And when it's off or imbalance, the ripple effect is real. You get brain fog, you get inflammation, you get sugar crashes, you get chronic fatigue, and you get low moods. Family, this isn't a theory. It's biology catching up with what ancient traditions already knew. If the gut is out of sync, so is everything else. So depression isn't just emotional. Diabetes doesn't start with desserts. Heart disease isn't only about DNA. Cancer isn't always bad luck. And sometimes the signals begins quietly, deep in your belly. So it's important that you fix the gut and the rest doesn't just improve, it actually transforms. Now, long before science caught up, before labs and scans and specialist clinics, one man saw the pattern. Hippocrates, 2,400 years ago. All disease begins in the gut. No logarithms, no AI, just a sharp mind and a sharper instinct. Watching nature, connecting dots, and saying what we're only now proving in journals. The gut isn't just digestion, it's direction. It directs your mood, your immunity, your energy, and information. And they all start from within. So back then, back in those days, people blamed spirits for illness. Hippocrates, he blamed stagnation, poor food, and imbalance. He saw disease not as an enemy to fight, but a message to decode. And here's the truth bomb. You don't fix your health in the pharmacy. You fix it in the kitchen, in your movement, in your rest, in your rhythm. Now, Hippocrates, he didn't have a podcast and he didn't need followers. He just had one bold idea. He said, health isn't luck, it's lived. And the gut, still the beginning of everything. And that is still echoing today. And that was in 400 BC. Now, so Hippocrates, he dropped the line and we've dropped the ball for centuries. But now science has circled back. And Hippocrates, he wasn't exaggerating. The gut really is ground zero. Believe me when I tell you this. We've mapped the pathway, gut to brain, gut to immunity, gut to inflammation. It's not me saying this, these are actual facts. So the question is no longer if the gut matters, it's what are you doing about it? And that's where it gets real, because the body isn't broken, it's overloaded. Your gut doesn't need rescue, it needs resources. It needs fuel, it needs reinforcement, and it also needs restoration. So, enter Love Bio. Now, this is not a supplement line or a strategy. It's built on truth. It's actually built on the truth that Hippocrates pointed to and modern biology confirms. Healing doesn't begin with medicine, it begins with the microbiome. Thousands of years ago, as I mentioned, Hippocrates taught us that all disease begins in the gut. And that was a bold statement, but it's now echoed in research across the globe. What he couldn't have known, but what we now understand is that the gut is not just a digestive machine, but a command center deeply wired to our brain, our mood, our memory, and even our immune system. The gut isn't just where food is broken down, it's where health begins or unravels. But here's the thing, the gut doesn't need rescuing. It needs support, family. It already knows what to do when given the right tools. And that's where Love Biome steps in. Not as a magic fix, but as an ally. These aren't just probiotics thrown into a sachet. This is targeted, functional nutrition designed to nourish your microbiome so it can do what it always was meant to do: protect you, heal you, and keep you in balance. I want you to understand something, family. You have to appreciate that your gut was designed by the One. The One is the creator. That's the only one who could have designed such a complex piece of equipment. And when it was designed to take care of itself. So it's like you're a walking chemist, so to speak. But over the years, we've all abused our walking chemist, our microbiome, our central processing unit, one way or another, whether it be with alcohol, smoking, the fast life, junk food, whatever, sugar, you name it, we've all partaked at some point. And these products that you can see here on the screen, they all have a specific purpose. And the purpose really is to help your gut realign itself. I'm going to tell you here and now, because I am not a doctor and I am not a nutritionist. But one thing I do know is that these products cure nothing. They cure nothing. What they do is help your gut solve the problems that you face. And that's a fact. When I was ill, I had a leaky gut and I was losing weight like nobody's business. My circulation was up the creek. My ankles swole as big as my head. For me, it was a living nightmare. I looked an absolute mess. I used to think that I was my children's superhero. And when I looked in the mirror, I actually felt like their sidekick. And it brought a tear to my eye. That was how illness had struck me down. I actually thought that I had cancer. And so I didn't even want to find out what it is I had. But my wife said, no, we can't sit back and allow this to happen. And so obviously I went for blood test and bioscans and the full Monty. And the information that came back wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't have cancer, but I did have a leaky gut and it was causing all these problems. I had enlarged prostate, I had inflammation, all the things I've mentioned in the presentation. I had some bit of it, some way, somehow. And I started out on the daily 3. The daily 3 of those 2 bottles and the Phyto Power O, which has now been superseded by the P84, which is the next version up. And I'm telling you something for nothing. It was an absolute game changer. I'm not here because I think the product is fantastic and I want to sell it. I am here because I was sick. Because if I wasn't sick, I wouldn't be on this platform. I wouldn't even know about Love Biome. Most man who's on this platform will tell you they've either had some illness and this product has been put in front of them. That's why they're here. So we all have a story. And everyone's story is totally valid. So you've seen the system, you've met the strategy, but every system has a keystone, the piece that locks everything in place. Now for Love Biome, that's not hype. It's the P84. The code that cracked the conversation between your gut and the rest of your body. Now, if your gut is the body's motherboard, then the P84 is the software update it's been waiting for. This isn't just another probiotic, and I can testify to that. This is a full spectrum microbiome reset designed to support not just digestion, but immunity, mental clarity, metabolic balance, and long-term resilience. So what makes P84 different? Well, it has precision fermentation, which maximizes potency, preserves life, and enhances bioactivity. It has tribiotic synergy, which is prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics in one formula, feeding your gut's entire ecosystem. It has been clinically tested, so it's proven to increase gut diversity and short-chain fatty acid production, which is the anti-inflammatory fuel your body craves. and it's global sourcing. So it's powered by bioactive plants and compounds from where? 6 continents. Polyphenols, phytonutrients, and intelligent plant chemistry that works with your biology. But here's the deeper reason. It matters because symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, a low mood, they're not flaws, they're feedback. Your gut's been whispering, and P84 helps it speak clearly. So what it does, well, it strengthens your gut lining, your first immune defense. It lowers inflammation, the root of modern disease. It balances mood and sleep by regulating serotonin production, and it reboots your internal terrain so your body can heal, not just cope. So family, this isn't a supplement. This is a system reset, and it's built for the biology of today's world because chronic dysfunction isn't your baseline, and healing isn't guesswork, it's gut work. So welcome to P84, which is backed by science, it's rooted in nature, and it's engineered for clarity, calm, and complete body reset. So listen, it's not a quick fix, it's a deep fix, and it starts now. System rebooted, and now you have to begin. But as you know, it says here that phytopower 1 plus 2 is equal to 84. And numbers, as I said to you earlier, numbers don't lie. So let's look into that. What are they talking about? Well, I had to go into my maths world to crack this. And what I get to understand is that, as you know, fundamentally, there are only 9 numbers, 1 to 9. There are only 9 numbers. Every other number that you could think of is a combination of those 9 numbers. So how does 1 plus 2 equal 84? I mean, if I take this to my maths lecturer, he would probably tell me to go and get my money back because it don't add up. But what's happened here is that in the world of phytopower, the numbers move exponentially. They don't move how they move in the fundamental world, very linearly. So in the fundamental world, it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. But in the phytopower world, it moves exponentially. So, for example, the number 2 is really equal to 2 to the power of 6. And 2 to the power of 6 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And that will give you 64. So it's not 2 times 6, it's 2 to the power of 6, which means that you have to times 2 by itself 6 times. Some people say, well, why didn't you do it 7 times then? Well, when you raise 2 to the power of 7, that gives you 128. And we're looking for the number 64. So 2 to the power of 6 will give you 64. And if you take away 64 from 84, that will leave you with 20. And 20 will be the number associated to phytopower 1. So therefore, 1 plus 2 is really equal to 20 plus 64 in the phytopower world. And 20 plus 64 is equal to 84. So that's how you get your P84. I had to do the numbers behind it because I think it's very, very important that you understand that the importance of how this works. Because what it does, this brings the numbers behind the system full circle. We all know about traffic lights, right? Those who drive, you stop at a traffic light. Well, that is underpinned by numbers. The red stays on for a certain time, then amber, then green. That has been programmed by man, but the numbers are there. And depending on the demand for traffic determines how fluid the traffic flows. On a whole, the traffic light system is a pretty good system because without the traffic lights, it would be absolute chaos. But all we see is red, amber, and green. It's important that we understand the numbers behind the traffic light so then we realize how long they're going to stay on each color for and that sort of stuff. And that determines how good this particular set of traffic lights are depending on where it's located. I say this to say that even though we have been able to show that 1 plus 2 is equal to 84, 84 is a compound number because fundamentally there are only 9 numbers. So let's get to the root of 84. And the way we do that is we would add 8 plus 4. Well, 8 plus 4 would give us 12. 12, again, is a compound number because fundamentally there are only 9 numbers. So 12 is going to be 1 plus 2, and 1 plus 2 is 3. This shows you that this brings us full circle because 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Yeah? And it means that the path behind P84 isn't random. It's symbolic, it's structured, and it's fundamentally correct, and it's mathematically aligned because it's taken us on a linear journey where 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and we can prove that. And it's also taken us on a phytopower journey where 1 plus 2 is equal to 84. And so P84 isn't just a formulation, it's a living equation. It's a convergence of science, mathematics, and nature, collaborated to support your gut at the cellular level. This is what happens when maths meets microbiome, when numbers align with nature, and when you don't just take a product, you plug into a system. Because many people have just taken the product and say, oh, the product's fantastic, da, 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 da. And they haven't really looked to see what's going on and why it's so fantastic. I can now tell you from the product range and what's in it, it's amazing. From a numbers perspective, the numbers adds up. So the numbers that underpin this product are aligned, they're accurate, and they are real. Boom. Now, I want you to understand something. That when I signed up for the products, I was still a bit skeptical about it. And I signed up as a customer. Even though I was suffering with all these ailments, my stubbornness still kicked in. And I signed up as a customer because I didn't believe that these products would work. And so the first month I started to take the product, and then I could start to see some difference. I quickly changed my sign up from a customer to a member. Why did I do that? Well, I did that because the customer price is totally different from the member price. And as a member, you pay a one-off fee. If you're here in the UK, you pay £20. And if you're across the pond, you pay $25. And that will give you access to their products for life. Because you can only get access to the product at the members rate when you become a member. And once you start taking the products, if it is working for you, only if it is working for you, will you share it with somebody else. Because there's no point in sharing a product that you don't even know it works. I can tell you how it works for me and what it's done for me. And there will be many on this platform who will share with you what it has done for them. But we are all fractions. We're all individuals. And whereas it may have had an amazing effect on me in 3 weeks, that amazing effect may not hit you for 6 weeks. It's just that we're different fractions. That's all it is. But once you know that it's working, you will want to share it. And by sharing it, you have the possibility to build a business. It's entirely up to you how successful you want to make that business, right? I didn't come on this platform to sell products. I came on, as I said, because I was unwell. And by taking the product, I became super well. I've never looked so good. And my point being is that I'm here to share And by sharing, I'm now a member. I didn't plan to be a member, but it's a natural progression because when you come across something that actually works, it's a natural progression. Lance, can you put your mic on mute, please?
If you're waiting for me to send you money, you're going to be waiting. No!
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it's really about you have the opportunity to build a successful business, and by doing that, you're also able to travel and be financially free. But it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take a bit of work. It's not going to happen overnight. But as I say, if you are here because you are unwell, you cannot do any worse than by taking these products. I say this to say, if you don't have a solution, you have nothing to lose. And you have, they generally say, between 120 and 160 days, because that is when the red blood cells change. And by these blood cells changing, the product is allowed to flow through your blood, and so allows your blood to move this stuff around so you can start seeing the difference. That being said, where am I? That being said, I want to show you this. Now, let's be clear. This list isn't healthcare. It's illness management. There's a massive industry built not to cure, but to capitalize on chronic disease. Inflammation is $1 billion cash cow. Obesity is a never-ending revenue stream. Anxiety, that's sold on subscription, that is. This system, they don't fix. They funnel your pain into their profits. But here's the truth. What they profit from, we have the power to transform. Because if we have a product in our hand that we know works, you will get to know that Love Biome isn't just a product. It's a rebellion against exploitation. It's a collaboration rooted in ethics, not greed. So while Big Pharma bets on our sickness, we can bet on sovereignty. We can lead the shift, we can own our health, and we can also own our future. I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. I'm just post-pharmaceutical. And the revolution really starts with you. When you look at these numbers, and these same people are predicting that by 2040, these numbers would have reached $1 trillion. So here's a question. If they can predict that these numbers will reach $1 trillion, that must tell you they're not curing anybody. Because if they were curing people, these numbers would be going down, wouldn't they? But year on top of year on top of year, the numbers are going up. They're not going down, they are going up. So when are we going to wake up and smell the coffee, family? When are we going to wake up and realize, Brother Alex, is that you? Rev, you can let Rev Kingsley in. He was on an earlier meeting, but he came on very late, and he's done the same thing again today. Well, so at least he's consistent. But yeah, Rev Kingsley, he was on an earlier meeting, but he came on right at the end. So I can vouch for that, brother. Thank you. So the point I'm saying here is, family, we've been conditioned, right? This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we are all investing in it, right? Whether you have digestive issues, weight issues, energy issues, sleeping issues, hydration issues, immune issues, antidepressants, fat burning, probiotics, you invest in it in some shape or form, and this is the money that you are making them. and we're not getting better. So I wanted to share this with you because it's only when you put the numbers to things that people start to realize what the hell is going on. So that being said, what would it really mean to earn 1K, 5K, or even 10? Not from hype, but from healing. Not by selling stuff, but by changing lives. To stop clocking into someone else's dream. We need to stop giving somebody else's purpose a why. And we need to start investing in our own purpose, giving our own purpose a why. To finally clear the many debts that we have hanging over our heads. You know, to start saying yes to trips. To buy time, not just things. To shift stress into strategy. This isn't a gig, family, it's a movement. A chance to build income that aligns with your integrity. And I say that very strongly because if you have a product in your hand that works for you, all you're doing is sharing it with those who are ill. So you don't need more hours, you just need more alignment. So what would it mean to stop waiting for the stars to align and realize you are the alignment? So family, the clock is ticking, but you don't have to wait for the diagnosis. This is your wake-up call. Don't just watch the shift, lead it. This isn't a side hustle, it's a revolution. The world's waiting for change. So are you ready to create it? So if you're here for the very first time, you would have probably been sent here by somebody. You may need to get back to that person. If you have just lost your way and found your way here, you can get in touch with myself. Now, it's down to you to choose your path and your own transformation. But if you have an illness, the key really is to sign up today and start rewriting your story. Us as brothers, we spend too long rationalizing and asking questions that we wouldn't ask the doctor or the surgeon who just stuffs and pumps stuff down us without any question. I'm telling you from my experience, and others will do the same. So as I said to you before, it's important that you go back to who sent you. If somebody has sent you, it's important that you go back to them. The system is designed to profit from your silence. So you can change that right now. So if you, my brothers, any brothers on this platform who are suffering in silence, it's really important that you chime in, that you share your experience, because there are brothers on this platform who have gone through things that may be able to alleviate some of the stress and anxiety that you are currently suffering from. On that note, I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to hand you back over to my co-host, Brother Alex in the house.
Awesome, Brother Pi. Thank you, Brother Pi. I'm just here as lending assistance. You took the time to create this platform, so I'm just here to give assistance, to give aid, so you can focus on your presentation.
Thank you, my brother.
I learned a lot from Brother Pi. I try to tell people, get a pen, get a paper. I write. As I write, I learn. As Brother Pi said, repetition is the mother of learning. Brother Pi said 70% of everything that goes on to our body comes from the gut, which is true. We breathe in air. How is your lungs going to breathe in air if it doesn't get food from the gut? How is the brain going to tell the gut, the lungs to breathe or exhale if it doesn't have food or oxygen or water to carry on the activity if it doesn't come from the gut? Everything comes from the gut, my brothers. The gut is the control center of the body. The gut has more than 100 trillion cells in it. That's more stars in the universe. Like Brother Pi said, it's the command center. And what was really amazing, Brother Pi said that the gut does not need rescuing. It only needs support. We get support through the product, which is plant-based. And while he was talking, I Googled what a fix means.
Mhm.
And it's so amazing. He didn't say a quick fix. Remember now, if you're broke, you go to work to make money, to get money to pay for a bill. That's a quick fix. But he said it's a defix, meaning it's DEFIX, meaning what it does, it actually fixes, fastens, or establish the balance that we need. I'm sitting here and all I can say is, wow, wow, wow. Through these meetings, I've actually written 3 notebooks of notes.
Wow.
Brother Pi went and he studied maths. He took years to establish himself. You could sit here, my brothers, just like me, for approximately less than an hour. And if you write, I become almost as learned as my brother. The only thing is, next week, I make a note of the time. I know sometimes because of timing, we're not able to come on time. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m.
7 p.m. 7 p.m. UK time.
UK time.
Mm.
And the good thing is, no matter when where we are in the world, we can be connected through the internet.
Mm.
Miles away, he's in London, I'm in the beautiful Bahamas, and we're still connected on the call. We have brothers in Canada, brothers in the US, brothers from all over the world. It's amazing. A safe space where we can come in, be educated, learn from Brother Pi. Brother Pi had leaky gut. As a result of his leaky gut, he ended up with an enlarged prostate. He ended up with inflammation. He didn't hide behind a mask to say, brothers, I'm healthy. He actually exposed the mask to educate us that if he could come out and speak and share, we can do the same thing, my brothers. Caring is sharing, sharing is caring. The more we share, the more we love, the more we learn. It's like
Absolutely.
we must extend gratitude and thankfulness to him. Before this, I always logged on to a Zoom call. Now I'm able to co-host and use my expertise and experience to help him to share his message. And besides that, he created a WhatsApp group, whereas he shares nuggets. And through this, to me, I'm motivated. Tomorrow is Monday. I wish I could turn the clock ahead or turn it back so I could have a repeat of Sunday. It's like going to school and learning for free. I don't know how much I could share or express gratitude or express appreciation. I would have to do that exponentially, meaning that I would have to take 100 times, 100 times, 100. So I sure by times I do that exponentially, that'd be more than a trillion thanks that I could give to Brother Pi. Are there any brothers who would like to share anything or what you've gathered or what was your aha moment or something that you learned from Brother Pi? Please feel free, raise your hand. If you don't know how to, we will actually assist you. So back over to you, Brother Pi.
Okay, brother Jimmy in the house. I see your hand raised? Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, I want to say excellent presentation. I mean, this was a masterpiece today. You know, I heard you. I've been on your program a few times. I hear you explain, but this one was different. There's a lot of different way you have to bring it across, and I say it make a lot of sense. You know, what you're saying, and I must say thanks to you for your presentation. And let me say good evening to the other brothers on the line. And also want to say,
Brother Jimmy, if you just hold on a second, brother Alex, can you qualify the person who's just come in, please? Brother Alex, are you there?
Ms. Mavis, how are you doing? Ms. Mavis, can you hear me?
Okay, I think she's gone.
Okay, that was Ms. Mavis.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's one of our group. But like I said, we try to make this a safe space where man can come in and feel free to talk. So what I was going to do is just show you what we do with security. So this is a safe space. And Brother Jimmy, I appreciate you being here. And Brother Jimmy's actually shared a lot of stuff. And as we come, we learn about more. We learn how we can build our courage so that we can remove our mask. So by removing the mask, which creates an illusion of who we truly are, we're able to share, brothers, who we are. So every week I come here, I'm learning new tips, new nuggets, and strategies from Brother Pi. And as I learn something from Brother Pi, I share with it. And just like how Jimmy said, Brother Pi actually put a new spin of it where he actually just didn't talk about numbers. He talked about how the gut is made up with 100 trillion cells. So now Brother Pi is actually putting the science behind his numbers. So like Jimmy noticed, Brother Pi now is spinning exponentially on the way how he's not just using numbers to present his presentation. So Brother Pi now is even evolving. So his pie now becomes more meaty, more meaningful, more or less a fruit vegetable base, which is a product that he took to heal his leaky gut. Now, keep in mind, gentlemen, Brother Pi had an enlarged prostate, inflammation that stems from a leaky gut, which means the stuff that should have come out the body through the cells not being working properly, it filtered back inside the body, creating a poison or toxin where the body became inflamed. A lot of our men have inflammation and swelling. As we drink a pint of lager or Guinness or whatever beer or rum we choose, it allows us to exponentially grow our stomach. So now we have a big stomach that we never had before. Some men think it's cute, but most of the time when you see a man with a stomach, if you look at the skin, which is an organ, if you look at the face, you should see an uneven coloration of the skin. Once we have that uneven coloration of the skin is the outside organ protecting all of the inside organs. When the gut becomes what they call dysbiosis, meaning that the gut is not functioning right, it shows up in the skin. So when we look at men, if you put on 20 pounds of stomach weight, you might get a bigger shirt. Your bigger shirt now becomes the mass, which disguises the big gut. And then the following week or following month, you put on another 5 pounds, you get another bigger shirt. However, you're covering the gut by using the mass of the shirt. If you keep buying a bigger shirt, then the body inside becomes corrupt. Then you end up with swelling feet. Then when you look at your feet, you'll see your feet start to become inflamed. And when you have constant inflammation, that could cause other issues like arthritis or other blood flow circulatory systems. Then the feet and the skin becomes dark. Then when the feet become swollen, you end up with pain. Had you not drank so much beer or had you brought your gut in balance, now you won't have pain. But like you say, if you play a blind ear and you just cover it with a mask, later on, the problems becomes more painful. And because you have more issues, then you'll be spending plenty more at the doctors. So the main thing is take advantage of seeing the signs and the symptoms. The reason how you get to know these is by being on calls such as this, where you be educated, and instead of having to experience or learn by what they say correction, you learn from instruction. Gentlemen, I've been on calls. This is the most informative call. And like Brother Pi says, it's a tight knit. You could come in and share and express. I wish every day was Sunday. Reverend Kingsley, we were happy that you joined us. Where are you chiming in from? Reverend Kingsley, are you still? So, Brother Pi,
Yes.
you're now adding more science to your platform, your education.
Well, I think it's important to, like you say, the audience are growing, and I mustn't stay still. The audience encourages me because I don't for one moment think that my audience is stupid, and they come here, expecting a certain level now. Whereas before, when this first started, there were just maybe one or two. Now the audience is growing, and so with that comes a level of expectation. So I'm originally doing this out of love, so it's quite easy for me to tweak this and take it to the level it needs to go. It's not laborious or nothing like that. I'm doing this because I was ill of myself, and I fully understand. And I love the maths. I love using the maths to get me to truth. Because once I get the truth, it's just like a buzz to me. And so so the audience, the brothers on the platform have just as much stake in this, in the quality that's being delivered, because it's what they're expecting. Because just to come on here and just to blurb is not what we were all about. And you can see the numbers are growing. And that's because we're consistently providing a level of knowledge that brothers can take away. They can actually make it tangible, they can work with it, and they can share it with others. So I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled that I've been given the opportunity to do this. So yeah. I see brother Jimmy still has his hand up. I don't know if he had something else to say. Did he finish what he was saying, brother Jimmy? Are you there?
No, I did not finish. You remember
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
you
I'm
were
sorry.
the person coming in, right? Yeah. So I would like to actually give my testimony because we have a few new persons here who never heard my testimony before.
Right.
I'm Jimmy Dupree from Grenada, West Indies. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer stage 4B last year in the month of January. And by the month of March, when I took my PSA again, it went up to my PSA, which is that protein antigen test, the PSA. It went up to 1,632.5. I think most of us would know that the PSA level should be 0 to 4. So it was 1,000 plus times more than it's supposed to be. And the doctor at the time told my wife, she didn't tell me, but she told my wife, she gives me 6 months to live, right? And if I take the chemotherapy and my body respond properly, then I'll make a year and something, right? I want to report that I didn't take the chemotherapy. I didn't take radiotherapy neither. When my wife told me what the doctor said, I say, oh, the doctor not know God. She can't tell me how long I live, right? That's not in her hands, right? But I discussed with the doctor and I took hormone therapy instead. And I was taking all the herbs around my area. We have herbs in abundance around our dwelling place, so I took all the herbs. And soursop was one of them. Soursop, both the leaves and the fruit, and a few other herbs around here I would have taken. And fast forward to October of last year, I was introduced to Love Biome products, and I took the daily 3. I took the B. I started taking the I2, and I can report that by December of last year, I could have seen the changes in my body, in my nails, my skin, my elimination. I felt better, But I'm sensible enough to know that I don't expect a quick fix because you have a way advanced disease. So it will take some time. I didn't buy it. I'm going to buy it. I say, the first month, I expect to cure. And even after my PSA went down to 4.12 about 3 months ago. And one of my friends said, well, you get better now. I said, no, I can't say that. I have to make sure it go down right down to the level. And still then, I have to continue to take the nutrients to make sure my body return to full rebiosis or full balance or homeostasis, as they would say. When you reach that level, then I still would continue taking it because I want to maintain it. The last time I sold a P84 to one of the most outstanding coach here in Grenada, and he's a young man, healthy, strong. And when I introduced it to him and he heard the presentation, he said, I am a healthy person, but I believe in preventing things. So he bought the first one, and then he came back and buy a second one. So I'm saying to the brothers in the line that those things are real. And prior to me being diagnosed, I worked in an environment where we had a clinic. I was also interfacing with the pharmacy. So there's a lot of things that I knew. I mean, might even encourage people who have health fair, different things, because we also had a fitness gym too, a fitness club, I should say, including a gym. And I used to tell people about health, right? But you could reach this when you're telling people, but you're so caught up and you're healthy, running around as though, well, you're invincible, right? My wife even used to tell me, Jimmy, go and test. guys who feel certain things, but I just took it for granted. And when I did go and check, I was stage 4 prostate cancer. So I just want to encourage you on the line. If you have pains, constant pain in your hip area, your pelvic area, you should check the doctor. A sudden problem in your feet, don't say that's just everything. Go and check. Prevention, according to my grandmother and so many others, is better than cure. So I thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I want to say hats off to a very excellent moderator in Alex Platinum. I
Beautiful.
used to hear Alex. I say Alex. He used to be on the other Zoom with me too. I go on all the friend Zoom, and he used to be there on the Zoom, most of them. And he all the time talks about his notebook and writing notes. I remember that, and he would all the time make a little review. So I see the review, the writing actually is paying off, Alex. And just now we might have another presenter. So thanks very much for letting me share.
Thank you, Brother Jimmy. And like you said, you've heard me on numerous calls, and I always encourage and tell people, write. The more we write, we learn. And it's amazing. It's just heartfelt warming to hear him recanting that he've heard me on calls, always urging people to write. Right now, I'm studying Portuguese. I just did another course with an assessment with HACCP, which is HACCP, where we do evaluations on different places. And it's so amazing. Brother Pai, I must confess, I read like about 3/4 of the book. The teacher said that we have 80 questions and we have to get a 70. So while I was taking the test, I calculated I need to get a 70. So out of those, I said I needed to get 60 questions right. So my focus was getting the 60 questions right. And I was able to pass the exam with a 70.1 something. So what I did, I said, let me get 60% of my questions right, which was 60 out of 80 to get that 75. And I did it. So if we apply the maths, the knowledge and experience that we gain, we can live a healthy life. And brother, you notice what Brother Jimmy did? He removed the mask. He shared his testimony. And through using the products, he was able to reverse the issues that the doctors diagnosed him with. So what he did, he beat the odds. He took nature using sour sop, the leaves, the fruit, which comes from the plant. So what Brother Jimmy Dupree showed through using plant life, he was able to restore the balance that existed within his body. And like he said, the coach wasn't well, but if you feed the body what it needs, the body instinctively knows what to do. Remember, Brother Pai said, get a defix, meaning that if you give the body what it needs, it's going to fix, fasten, and establish the correct balance and the proper maintenance and functioning. Do you expect to jump in your car and don't put in gas? I'm going to let this person in, Brother Pai. This is me, allow them to get in.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, iPhone. How are you? Good afternoon, iPhone. Can you hear me? iPhone, I sent you a link to unmute yourself. Can you hear me, iPhone? Okay, nothing hearing from iPhone. iPhone? All right. So I put them in the waiting room until they establish contact with me. So it's amazing.
Perfect.
And remember now what Brother Jimmy said, people are listening. Not all the time. Sometimes persons want to come in and chat in a big forum. But this is a small forum where we eventually get to know each other. And once we see the name, like I was about to interrupt Brother Pi to let in the Rev. He said, I know Brother Rev, so you could let him in. As we come here, we sit, we fellowship, we get to know each other. One of the brothers came here to the Bahamas, but he probably didn't have my number. So I said, if anybody come to the Bahamas, hey, give me a shout. If I go to the UK, first stop I'm going to go to is Brother Pi. The thing is, now we have friends and we build relationship by coming on this call. So it's just more than just talking about product or establishing health. We're building relationships. When you build relationships, the sky is the limit. So through this, I now have somebody in England. If I had a math problem when I was at the College of the Bahamas, I could call Brother Pi. Hey, Brother Pi, I have a question. I have this math problem. Assist me with it.
Absolutely.
So networking is key. I want to share a nugget with inflammation and swelling that a lot of persons suffer from. Whenever you have inflammation and swelling, that means there's something wrong with your blood, meaning that the excretory system, which involves your kidney, your liver, your gallbladder, the entire mechanism is out of balance. So let's say if you have a stand-up job or a sit-down job, sometimes the blood flow or circulation is not working correctly. So let's say in the evening or in the morning when you're lying flat on your bed, if you elevate both feet, using, let's say, 2 pillows or 2 blankets, because of the angle of the elevation with the feet being higher in the body, it allows the kidneys and the liver through gravity to pull the toxins out of your blood. So when that happens, if you do that for like about 15 minutes, you now eliminate a lot of toxins and poisons out of the system. So the way out poisons and toxins are eliminated out of your system is through sweat, urine, or poop. So if we help the body to help itself, and the body eliminates a lot of these things, the swelling and inflammation is reduced. When that is reduced, you have less pain, less chronic pain, less hurt in the body. The body is going to give you signs and symptoms, discoloration of the skin, aches. When you get up, you feel your joints stiff. All of that goes back to circulation. So a few weeks back, I encourage your brothers to try elevating for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. When you do that, that also improves your life. And it doesn't just go for brothers, that's for brothers and sisters. Every day we come, we learn. Through life, if you think you know everything, you don't know anything. Yesterday, while I was out, I went to a restaurant that somebody invited me to. One person was speaking Creole, so I started to speak to them in Creole. The next person started to speak Spanish. I started to speak to them. Then I asked them, hey, do you know French? And I said, I was doing Portuguese. So at the end of the day, going to get something to eat, I met 5 persons. I said, I do a couple of things with health, and I found some amazing products. So when I messaged the person while I was on this call, he said, hey, Alex, remember send me the information of the products you started using. Here it is. I went to get something to eat. So now I have somebody who's going to help me with learning Haitian Creole. And now I'm going to be able to help him as a pastor to help him to get rid of his gut weight. Then when I tell the pastor say, hey, Alex, I want you to come and tell my congregation. No problem. Through connection, through the phone, we're able to do a lot. So Brother Pi created the group. I urge you, give him your contact so you be added to the group. That way, we don't have to rely on somebody sharing the message for you. You can be fed directly, and then you now, because somebody shared it with you, like Brother Pi said, share. Caring is sharing, sharing is caring, sharing is loving. It's only 2 things we could do. We share it. Somebody may get it, somebody may not, but as you share it, you're giving. That's what it's all is about. Brother Pi gave of his time. Because he gave of his time, I say, let me give of my time so I can help him. The more we help each other, the more forces we could control, the more forces we achieve, the more energy grows. Energy, that's all life is. Energy, transfer of energy. Back over to you, Brother Pi.
Thank you for that, Brother Alex. I just wanted to jump on something very quickly that Brother Jimmy mentioned earlier. Firstly, I want to say to Brother Jimmy that I'm so proud of the brother. He got the diagnosis, and even though his head was buried in the sand before, he's following the program. He's come on. He's bared the S on his chest. When I first heard Brother Jimmy, when I first started to hear Brother Jimmy, I could tell I was listening to a brother who was depressed. When I first heard him, when he probably first started on the products and he wasn't sure how things were going, I could hear he. And now when I hear Brother Jimmy, I hear the confidence, I hear the stature. I haven't seen him, but I hear, and so I feel that energy. He feels more confident in what he's doing and how he's going about his business, and it's those things, that I qualify, and it makes one know that this product is more than just a supplement. This product is something, it's a game changer. That's all I can tell a man. It is a game changer. It's a bit like me telling you how beautiful Jamaica is. But unless you go there yourself, you're never really going to know. And all you're ever going to do is lean on someone else's understanding. I'm telling you how good this product is, and it's down to you to kind of take the first steps. So, I don't know if there's anybody here on the platform who has anything that they want to share about what they've heard, about what they're going through, or anything that they may want to talk about what someone else is going through. Because there may be somebody on this platform who can share something with them to alleviate the burden. So, there's no pressure, but if you'd like to say something, you feel free. Feel free. We have 13 people still on the platform, and I know the illness ratio suggests to me that every 4 brothers in a group, there's generally 1 chronic illness sitting in the room. So if we've got 3, there's 3 chronic illnesses on this platform as we speak. It's not me saying this, it's just the mathematics. But when you start putting the numbers to it, it could be you. It could be you. And it's not me, I say this, it's the numbers. Do you understand? These are actual facts. Because if every man was to bear the S on his chest, you'd hear the chronic illnesses reveal itself. You understand what I'm saying? That's just how it is. If 1 in 8 brothers are suffering from depression, so there's 1 brother on here at the moment, maybe 2, who, not just stress, depression. 1 in 8. It's the maths, not
Can I
me.
say something, brother?
Of course you can, King. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm listening, but listen, what I'm doing some work out in the garden.
Sure.
Just before I came on, as I said, Michelle sent me a link and she told me to get on the platform because I was telling her yesterday that I, just felt some tiredness, and she said, "Okay, get on this platform and talk to me later." So I came on and I listened, and you guys, I'm very much impressed because, saying that you guys, we can, bond together. It's not just about medicine and selling something. So I really appreciate that because sometimes women, you know, don't really bond. We don't talk about problems and stuff like that because, probably feel like if a man talk about stuff, it's a form of weakness. So I really appreciate this meeting. So
Wow.
one of my problem that I face is, what they call it, die um life sorry, not having erections. And
Erectile dysfunction.
right, that is it.
Yeah.
And I experienced this probably about a little over 2 years now. This year I'm 53, and it it all started just suddenly because I never have any problem in that area, and it just started suddenly. And I believe something have to do with my wife, you know.
Mm,
I think um I am from Jamaica and I'm
mhm,
living in Canada for more than 8 years now.
mm,
And she went to Jamaica, as I said, about little over 2 years ago, and she brought back some bush or something, and you know she made some tea and gave me one day, and from I drank the tea that morning, I suddenly do not have any erection, no sexual feelings,
mm,
you know, and that lasted for about 3 months. I mean, no wake up, no erection, no
mhm, mm,
sexual feelings.
mm,
And the morning when she gave me the tea and I drank it, the next morning she made some tea and I asked her, what is this thing? And I had some doubt. I said, I do not want to drink it because you just came back and you make this tea and say it's good for me or whatever. And I said, I don't, just drink any bush like that. And she wouldn't explain. I said, I don't know if something you want to poison me because I think, she's saying that I'm cheating on her and I do not
mm,
cheat,
mm,
right? But she have that mental thinking.
mm,
And I think somehow when she went to Jamaica, she got something. I don't know.
mm,
And from that time until now, I have not recovered.
mm,
I have recovered somewhat, some fully, but not, maybe I would have sex every day,
sure,
more than twice, three
sure,
times for the day. But
sure.
from then, it's just that, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
then my other problem is that as a Jamaican, I've never done a prostate checkup. Well, I did it once
Mm,
when I just turned, I think it was when I was 42. My
mm,
family doctor back in Jamaica, he always suggested it, but I wasn't, too keen on doing it
mm,
until one day his sister came and said, "Did you do it?" I said, "No," and she asked me if I wanted. I said, "Okay, fine," and she did the finger thing, and she said, "Well, she didn't say anything. I could probably do some blood tests or whatever to make sure,"
mhm.
but I didn't do any. But
Okay.
now I'm a bit concerned.
Mhm.
In Canada, here is they're saying you have to be 55 before you get it done, and they don't want to do it. And I said, back home they would request that you do it, and no, I can't get it done here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
this is one of my concern.
Well, my brother, first and foremost, I have to big you up for bearing the S on your chest. There are many of us on this platform that are having issues with our partners, wives, whoever they are, and all that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm dealing with. So I'm humbled by your sentiments at the end of the
Yes,
day,
sir.
because that's what this is really all about. In the first instance, when you spoke about the erectile dysfunction, now there could be a number of things that would be causing that because I can only tell you from my experience and the experience that I've shared with many of the brothers who when I go to the barbers, they have that conversation and I've shared with them some of the issues and they've been able to resolve the problem. Generally, there is some form of imbalance in the gut. So the first thing you've got to do, and we've got some hands up, so they can come on in a sec, where the gut will have to be balanced. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. What do I mean by
Hmm.
that? Because sometimes people will say to you, oh, just take the Phyto Power X. That will sort the problem out. Because the Phyto Power X gives you extra energy and power and things like that, what have you. And it actually does work. But it's no different than you could have an amazing a potent seed that you plant in your garden and it grows. But if the soil is crap, I don't care how potent the seed is, it's not going to grow. So first and foremost, you have to clean that soil. And by cleaning that soil, back in the day, it was the Daily 3, which has been superseded by the P84. And once you've got that going, then there was a slide that I showed you with all the specific phyto powers, and they have a combination which one can share with you, as to what the combinations are to get you back to where you once was, because it's all about the gut. And what you're talking about is easily resolved because I've been there, I've done it, and I've actually sold the t-shirt. But what I would ask you is that are you signed up to the product already? Any of
No,
the
sir. No.
who
As I
you
said, it's just I just came on. I was just introduced to it today when she sent me the link. You know, we were talking and she said if you want to have more energy and all of that, you know,
who
that's
gave you this link, sir?
Michelle Campbell.
Right. Is she a member of Love Biome?
I'm not sure. You know, as I said, she's just my church sister, and we
Okay.
were just
The only reason
speaking
why I
over
say
lunch.
that, the only reason why I say that is because
Yeah,
generally a lot of the men come on, yeah, on this
yeah.
platform, and after listening to, they really want to kind of like, they want to go down the route of well, Pi, can you suggest what we should take or what we shouldn't
Hmm.
take and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have a problem doing that. I don't have a problem signing one up and what have you. But generally, the many of the women, they get a little bit upset. And I say to the women, I said, listen, what you have to understand is that many of the men, they don't even want to tell you their truth.
Right.
They don't even want to tell you their truth. So when you sign up the man, he's never going to tell you the real truth. So you're never going to be able to give him what he needs to fix what really is going on. Because you've got a number of issues going on there at the end of the day, right? And they all stem from the gut because whatever feelings you feel about your wife and whatever else, emotions and all of that, again, it comes from the gut.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this. So the bottom line is, I'm more than happy to take you down that road and take you on the path. And I guarantee you, I'll hold your hand every step of the way, right? And week after week after week after week, you will start to see the difference. So if it's something that you want to do, I'm more than happy to walk with you on that path. If you don't have a sister who's your upline or anything like that or what have you, then me and you can have a conversation if you're comfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you would do is if you just let me know your number, and then I will just and I'd get in touch with you off here at some point, and we would have a more in-depth conversation. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So sorry, that's brother Sheldon. Sherlon, did I
Sherlin.
correct? Sherlon.
Yes.
What's your number, my brother?
So it's 902. That's one before it.
Yeah,
902
no,
300
300
3711.
3711. All
Yes.
right. Okay. Well, don't worry. Expect my call, and we will have a more in-depth conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. But you
All
you
right.
come to the
Thanks.
right place, King. Sorry.
Yes.
Is that brother Jimmy had his hand up? Go ahead, brother Jimmy.
Yes,
You there?
thank you for Mr. Sholan,
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Sholan. I'm glad to hear that you just exposed and just say it. You're frank and say what is happening to you.
I love it.
Most of
I
us
love it.
men afraid to do that.
Mm.
What I want to say here is that it kind of struck a chord with me because, as I said earlier on, I I worked in a clinic. I was doing admin there. I was also doing some HR for the pharmacy. So I was in that circle and I knew a lot of things, but I just thought I was so invincible. I didn't check on myself.
Yeah.
But one of the things is that um, I never mentioned that before, the erectile dysfunction. I noticed that when I'm a married person, in December would be 40 years since I married. I married when I was 24. But I noticed about when I was about close to 60, about 50 there, about my my erection was not as good as it used to be, right? And it continued to. And I just was thinking that I could have overcome that otherwise. So I'm glad actually you say that. Now, what I could say to you, well, I want to ask maybe two questions. First of all, have you ever taken a test to know if you're diabetic?
I did the urine test, yes,
A urine
but
test. Okay.
that's urine test and come back negative. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe you should also do a blood test and just to make sure, because as you talk about the finger stick that a woman did for you, sometime when I wanted to check on that, the doctor did that same finger, putting up the finger and touching. I say, oh, everything is soft and nice. That was in September, and by the time I went in November by the urologist, he said, man, this is hard and soft for me, so let me do a biopsy now. Or next day, he did the biopsy, and I was advanced. So the thing about it, when you have those signs, I heard what you say about the hobby drank. I don't, but when you have those things, better to make sure that your sugar. Somebody's talking, please. Can you hear them?
I can't hear them. Where are they?
Right. Thanks. When we have those issues, it's best that we act on it fast. And I can talk passionate about it now because I went through that. And if I could help men not to go through that, I'm willing to do that. So take that check, make sure that you take your blood work to make sure that you don't have swollen parts or any kind of issue like that, and make sure that your blood sugar, your blood glucose is okay, and yeah, and take it from there. Mr. 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 Pai would actually deal with the other aspect of it as to what you have to take. Yeah. So thanks for allowing me to share, and I wish you all the best and work on that aggressively. Okay.
Jimmy, I just want to say that, you are the catalyst because by what you did, you give others the energy, the impetus to be able to bear the S on their chests. So I want to thank you, my brother, for being the catalyst. Truly appreciate it. As I mentioned, when I first heard you some time back, you sounded broken, and I'm listening to you today, and you sound like you're walking high in stature, that you're on the up and up. So I thank you for gracing us with your presence and your time. Thank you. Brother Alex, go ahead, my brother Alex.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to speak, Brother Pi. I just want to piggyback on what you said and what Brother Jimmy said. Here we are, brothers who are introduced or called by a woman. Like Brother Pi said, sometimes we're not comfortable with talking to women. Women got to understand sometimes a man is not going to be comfortable to tell you what's actually going on. So, which means because you're not providing a route that he's comfortable with, he's not going to share. And, gentlemen, as you can see, because Brother Jimmy shared his story, it allowed Brother Sherlock to share his story, make him comfortable. That's what it's about. As we share, we encourage, we inspire, we become the catalyst that fuels persons that would have not said anything. And like Brother Jimmy said, we're here to help each other. So as we get together, we learn more. And like Brother Jimmy said, sometimes an issue like erectile dysfunction can come about because of other issues. For instance, diabetes. I am not a doctor. None of us are here as doctors. The only thing we're doing is sharing information that we have received or somebody have gone through. If you have diabetes, that means you have a high concentration of sugar in your body, which could result in wrinkles in the skin, cavities, tooth loss, or eye damage. Sometimes with erectile dysfunction, you have an issue where the muscle that closes off after an erection, instead of the blood being controlled or contained in the male organ, the muscle is not strong enough to prevent the blood flowing back in. Thereby, you end up with issues as erectile dysfunction. And you notice, Brother Jimmy said, get a diabetes check, because sometimes issues come in singles, they come in pairs, or they come in triples. I was talking to a gentleman, he said he's pre-diabetic. if he doesn't control his pre-diabetic issues, he could end up with high blood pressure. He could end up with high cholesterol. Sometimes diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, they come in three parts. Remember now, one issue, like I mentioned earlier, stems off to another issue. Sometimes, depending on your location, like how you say you're in Canada, sometimes your environment, the food you eat, the air you breathe, the water you drink, sometimes that causes contamination or issues. Your job exposure could cause you to have issues. So another thing that you can do is see if you could get somebody, like they say, Jimmy said, check your diabetes. And if they can, yeah, the old school method was them using a finger to feel. Now they have blood tests that they can do that. So sometimes men are ashamed because nobody wants to have anybody prodding their bodies with a finger. That is the old school method. So gentlemen, there are new methods that they've used where they actually use blood tests for certain parts. So back in the day, a lot of men didn't want to do it because of pride. It's not really about pride, but it's about checking your body and getting it checked. So sometimes you might have to go to a private doctor in order to get them to check to see what's going on. The issues that are underlying sometimes manifest in a different way or form. So not saying that, meaning that sometimes when you correct the issue, other things that you were suffering from would correct itself. And a lot of products that we started using with our bodies, we've seen transformation. So my brother Pi is going to show you the way, and we are all here for one another. So feel free to contact any of us so that we all learn. And that's why I say have your pen and paper, because as we learn more, we become educated. So we're able to help other brothers and direct them so that they themselves and other persons who they know are not hurting. So thank you, Brother Pi, for reaching out and just sharing the information to help other brothers. Back over to you, Brother Pi. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
It's fine, my brother. I just want to say, and I don't want to play, I don't want to be a devil's advocate, but I just want to say to my brother Bailey, that you were allowed in via your wife because it's the first time. But know this, and I'm just being a devil's advocate, and I'm letting you know, we wouldn't allow you again if you come via your wife, because the content that we speak about is very, very sensitive. And I know your wife chimed you in today because you were driving, and I respect that to the maximum because it's the first time we allowed you in, just that you could get a feel of this platform. But we have a rule here where we don't have women on there. And I know that you are driving and all of that, and I respect all of that. But I'm just letting you know this because I know where this platform is going. And men will have to find the time where they can lob in for themselves and they don't have women lobbing in for them. We have enough women's hands in this already because women are already sending men here, which is fine. Women are already putting products in front of us. When are we as brothers going to start doing things for ourselves? And so my point is very, very simple, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, and I'm just letting you know, my brother, that we're humbled to have you here, but just know that moving forward, your wife will not be able to dial in on your behalf because I have to make sure that all the other brothers on this platform are comfortable, and I cannot do that when your wife phones in because you are driving or whatever reason or what have you, because then the brothers who are on this platform realize, well, it's not a secured unit and we can't, our information is not safe. Even though I know you're probably not going to take it anywhere, my first alignment is to the brothers on this platform. So I hope you don't feel no way about that, but I felt it was important to share that with you so that this is not, it doesn't become like a habit. All righty, brother Alex, you got your hand up? You want to say something?
No, just chiming on. And like I said, I love the way you did it. And like you said, this is a SEAL unit. And brothers, every day we come here, we're going to learn a different method. We're going to learn and we're going to tighten our security protocols. This is a man's safe space. And that is what it originally started at. has, and it's going to continue that. So I respect Brother Pi for coming and chiming in because I was going to do it later on, but he just beat me by ahead of time. But
Oh, okay.
we're all in the same energy because we're all thinking alike. And like I said, we didn't really want to turn you down because this is crucial information that we need to get out there. So moving forward, gents, just make it a note. Just how we make it a priority to go to work, go to whatever else, this is a priority because it's man's health, man's time. So we have to avoid the excuses and just make it happen. Be like they say, just do it. So we're going to get it done. And moving forward, the numbers are going to be increasing. So things we have to, it could be a small issue. We have to nip it in the butt because as we nip it in the butt, it no longer becomes an issue. So thank you, Brother Pi, for showing the man what happened and what we'll be doing moving forward. So I appreciate that. Back over to you, Brother Pi.
Beautiful. Thank you, King. All righty. Is there anyone else who would like to maybe chime in? Just like to say a few words about anything. I'm mindful of time, but hey, you know, we're here for everybody. If there's anybody who wants to chime in, go for it. Feel free. Don't be shy.
Brother Alex from the Bahamas, I just want to say, if the men are noticing we have brothers from the US, we have brothers from the Canada, the Caribbean, the Bahamas, we have brothers from Brother Pi who are in the UK. As you can see, we're now reaching parts of the world. And the beauty of it is we can do everything through our phone. So brothers, once you connected in the group, when you see the message in the WhatsApp messenger group, save it to your phone. While you're not on the call, you could click it, you put in information. So on Sundays, when you go on Sunday to the call, all you have to do is click the link because it's already stored there. Then sometime you might have an issue with your device. So what I would do personally, write the number down, stick it in your wallet. In the event that your phone goes down, you have it. Safety, security is paramount in everything that we do. Like they said, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Applying the knowledge is fine. But the thing is, some persons get the knowledge, but they don't apply it. We have received knowledge, so we need to apply the knowledge. The same knowledge that you receive today impacts your life, impacts other persons. So caring is sharing, and that is all we do here, share. Back over to you, Brother Pi. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Brother Cliverall, go ahead, my brother.
Yes, Brother Pi. I just want to say congratulations for the way you conducted your platform this afternoon. And I want to say good evening to all the brothers from around the world. For Brother Alex from the beautiful island of the Bahamas, I'd like to say you are doing a real good job. I really like the way you assisting Brother Pi. I just want to congratulate the brothers that share their little bits of problems to the community. I want to say big up to my brother from Grenada, Brother Jimmy. And I just want to continue being on this platform because we all are here to learn and to share with one another. As I said before, I'm always sharing and asking brothers to come on, but I believe, well, I don't know why they are not coming in, but I know one brother did came a couple of weeks ago, and I'm always sharing and asking them to come on, and maybe as is a main thing, maybe they're a little bit shy and timid, and we are all going through some health problems, so we should all be just mindful and try to be more focused and to look into our problems because time is really the hand. So I just want to say thank you, brothers, for coming on, and let us continue to share the knowledge. And thank you for listening. Thank you.
Beautiful, my brother. Thank you so much. It means a lot that you come on and say something, so thank you so much. Anybody else? Anybody else? Brother Chris in the house? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, Brother Pai, thank you for inviting me. You and Alex doing a great job here. I love the presentation. It was very informative. I just want to say greetings to everyone around the world, North America, the Caribbean, and here in Europe. I'm in the UK with Brother Pi. Um, I'm there. They said I'm type 2 diabetic, and I been doing this metformin and testing the blood and all that stuff from since 2021. Um, I would say is very depressing, very, very depressing because some days I don't know what to eat. Some days I don't want to eat. Um, and when some days I don't even check. Sometimes a whole week I don't even check because that I can't be bothered to be seeing these numbers going up and down and all that stuff. So they wanted to stop. I requested for call a prescription, repeated prescription, and I requested for it and they rejected me because they said that I haven't taken any for a year. But reason for that is the ones that they give to me, I still have some because like I said, I don't take it all the time because I wanted to get rid of this stuff naturally. So so that's what I'm going through right now.
Wow.
I heard about the product. You told me about it and was invited here and I heard a bit more about the product. Being a member, you say, is the best way forward. Um, and the only way I can, you said, introduce it to other people, and the best way is if it works for me. Well, at this point in time, I don't know which one of the product to take, right? And where to start. So I would like to have your guidance in that, Brother Pi. And yeah, that's it. That's that's what I can remember to say at the moment.
Sure.
I'd like to share.
My brother, I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled again. And what I will say is that you're not alone, and there will be brothers who probably will chime in and tell you their experience about um, type 2 diabetes or whatever else. But my point to you is this: at the end of the day, it actually starts here, and I guarantee you, you are in the right place. And trust me on this one. Once you start, because you got like man like brother Jimmy, you got man like brother Alex, we got man like Sai who's not even here today. They've all been through their pains and their gains, and some of them are going through their pains on air on this platform. So they're not just getting better then coming on and saying, "Wow, I'm better." Then tell you from the get-go, say, "Boy, you know what? I've got this, I've got that, And then when we say, all right, start on this, and they come on here every week. Jimmy, he told you that his numbers were gone through the roof. His numbers had gone through the roof. And now, since he's been on the products, it gone down to 0.4 and it was in the thousands. That hasn't been my experience. That's Brother Jimmy's experience. Brother Alex will have his own experience. Brother Clever will have his own experience because they're all suffering from some kind of ailment. So, my brother, all I can say to you is this. Trust me, you started in the right place. And now that I've got your number, I will call you off here and we will go through the changes and we'll make it happen because it's got to start here. Trust me on this one because when I showed you the slide about Big Pharma, I showed it for a reason. Because your health is not mystical. It's mathematical. When somebody give you a product, they should be able to say to you, my brother, take this for 3 months, 6 months, and you will see change. But they might give you things for years. You said when? Was it 20 whenever? And to this day, you're not seeing that? No. That's what we call conditioning. They condition us as a people. Yeah, if we feel pain, take a pill. Got a headache, take medicine. Got this, take this. And nothing ever gets sorted because they're not dealing with the root. They're dealing with the symptoms. So my brother, you're in good hands. I will call you off here and we will take you down a rabbit hole. Alrighty? Beautiful, my brother. Thank you for sharing. Brother Alex, are you there? Or is it Brother Cleverell? Brother Cleverell, you had your hand up, my brother. Brother Cleverell, you still there?
Yes, Brother Pi.
Brother
Can you hear me?
Alex. I can hear Brother Alex. Go ahead.
I'd like to thank Brother Jimmy, Brother Clevel, and Brother Chris for expressing your warm sentiments with appreciation for what we do. And to me, that speaks volume that somebody actually appreciate what we do. And that is why we do it. And I can't say enough thank yous. And like Brother Pi said, you're in the right place at the right time, my brother. Because right now, I'm helping some brothers, I'm helping some sisters, I'm helping a brother who's paralyzed, who has diabetes, type 2 diabetic. And I have another lady who is on metformin, my brother. And what she needs or what she got is the same thing what you need. So we know how to steer and guide you. So, my brother, all it is us helping you to control and lower your A1C number, which is your diabetic sugar number. And once you do that, we're on the road. So we're going to work with you to help you to control your numbers. And then from there, like Brother Pi says, every week, log on. The more knowledgeable you are, the more you're able to assist yourself. And healing starts with the mind and the mindset. Because now you're fed up and you want to be healed, that is where the body now starts to open up to receive whatever products that you put into it. And with our courses, with our therapeutic massages, that is where the mind mindset starts. So if I meet somebody and they express to me they want to be healed, I tell them not healed. They want to help with issues that they're experiencing because we don't use the word heal. So they want help. Like, are you reaching out for help? You have brothers here who share and teach you what they know so that you could help yourself with the issues that they've been you stuff with. We're going to show you a natural way of using God's pharmacy, which is the garden to give the nutrients and the nourishment for your body that you need. So we're happy that you're now a part of us and learning and educating yourself about your body. So thank you, Brother Chris, for your sharing your warmth. You, Brother Pi.
And it's something, if I could just say, the key to this as well, brother Chris was sharing his own testimony and what he's going through, and the things that we don't see. His confidence, rock bottom. When a brother is ill, right? You may see him in a gathering and what have you, and you think everything's all hunky-dory because he looks the part, he looks the business, he smells fine, he looks good and whatever else, and you have no idea what a man is going through. We had another brother Sherlon, I do apologize, and a lot of the stuff that they speak about is not sick, it's not a bruise, it's not a cut. So, unless they take the mask off, we never know what's going on. And so it's just beautiful that the brothers are able to come in a space where they feel that they can take off the mask and share. Because once you take off the mask, there's always brothers on this platform who can help them to alleviate any problems that they may have. And what I will add is this. If you feel that what you are hearing on this platform makes sense and it puts you in a good place, then you must share it with others. Get them on the platform, because stagnated knowledge becomes poisonous. This knowledge needs to be out there. So we need to be sharing it 10 to the dozen, because if we share it with 10 people, the maths will tell you that probably 2 of them may join you. 2 of them may come on the platform, and you may be saving their lives. So I would basically say that is the key. Brother Cleverell, you had your hand up, and it was overlooked. Are you still there?
No, I am still here. No, I mean, maybe I didn't lower my hand down in time, but
Okay,
no,
okay.
I share my part. Thank you so much.
Okay, my brother. Thank you for that. Thank you. Alrighty. So where we are. Can you? I don't think we've got any more testimonies. As I say, I'm mindful of time. It's funny. It's interesting. The call I did this morning was it lasted for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and this call is almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's actually 2 hours and 24 minutes as we speak. And generally, when we first started doing these sessions, right, they may have lasted 40 minutes, they may have lasted an hour, same like the other one. And now, because when you hear something that aligns to truth, more people want to hear about it, and so it's a testimony that we're going in the right direction. So yeah, I'm humbled. I want to thank everybody for joining the platform. Whoever I said I was going to contact outside of this, I will definitely make that contact. Don't worry about that.
Before you end this call, my brother, I just
Go
have a
ahead.
quick testimony.
Go ahead, of course.
Yes, my name is Wayne, the DeFi boss from Toronto, Canada.
Yes.
Originally from the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Wow.
And I wanna just say this. About a few years ago, just before COVID, I ran into diabetes. Literally had an accident with it.
Wow.
Okay. I could not drive 3 blocks in Toronto, busy city, of course, without knowing where the next bathroom is. And that's the first sign. If you're going to the bathroom very, very often, then that's a problem. So I
Wow.
figure, well, what's going on? Got to go see my doctor.
Mm.
And she took my blood sugar level, and it was 30. And she looked at me and she says, "Why aren't you in a coma?" I said, "Well, thank God, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, that will not happen." Okay,
Mm.
so I was quite happy about that. So obviously they put me on insulin right away, and the normal medication, etc. And then they told me, "Well, you're gonna have to be on this for the rest of your life." And I thought to myself, I don't think so. So immediately I went home and I started doing some research. And my first question online was, can diabetes type 2 be reversed? And the answer came back, absolutely. So I knew right away that all these medical profession, like these medical doctors with all these degrees and so much high value in our minds were lying to us. I mean, it really shattered a glass window that I had looking at these people, as I call them now. So I started doing my research, and thank God, within 3 months, I was able to reverse the process. I had to actually go for a minor surgery, and the doctor says, "Well, you know what? I can't operate on you until your blood sugar level is 7.0 at the very least." So within 3 months, thank God I was able to do it. So I must say one thing to the brothers out there who are suffering from this ailment. It is definitely reversible. And I'm looking at this platform for maintenance because I learned the hard way. I had to go through the research, find out what works, find out what doesn't work, what I eat, what effect it had to my body, and I kept actual records of every single time I had a little pinprick so I could see what my body was doing. So for guys, if you're afraid of a little pinprick out there, I'm telling you right now, we are men. Okay, number one. Number two, that ice cream, that bad habit, whatever it is that's causing this problem, it is not worth your big toe. It is definitely not worth half your legs, or absolutely not worth your entire life. So it's knowledge, just gaining the knowledge and actually just doing what you need to do. I was actually checking my blood sugar level 3 times a day because I wanted to know whatever I put into my body, I wanted to see the exact effect. Is it causing it to go up? Is it causing it to go down? And what I discovered to my horror was every single thing that you look at, whether it be in a grocery store or a gas station, every single thing had sugar in it, and it was competing with the other product with more sugar. So no wonder we have diabetes. The only thing that's in that gas station that doesn't have sugar is water. Believe it or not, right? So definitely, guys, do your research. Absolutely look at whatever you put into your body. Look at the sugar content right out of the gate. And you can actually do without it, believe it, because you get it anyways in all the different products that you deal with. Everything has sugar in it. So if you control it and if you really need to save your life or the life of your loved ones, absolutely a little pinprick to know where you are on the chart is vital because it tells you exactly what's going on in your body. So just as they say, man up, take charge, and just get it done. So these products that I'm looking at, and I've been hearing very great reviews about it, for me personally, it's now about maintenance, because I don't want to have to watch every single thing that I eat. But if I know what I'm putting into my body and I monitor it for a few weeks at least, then I would know exactly what the baseline is, and as I call it. So guys, this is reversible. It is not a death sentence. You just have to act, and you have to act right now. Thank you.
Wow, I love that, brother Wayne. Thank you so much for your sentiments. It means a lot. Who guided you to this platform?
My friend Loretta guided me to this men's group, but I have
Yeah.
heard of the product. I actually went to a presentation in Toronto with lovely brother John, who was able to use these products to reverse his problem with cancer, and that was his testimony.
Oh wow.
And I definitely know that you're on the right track, right?
Wow.
And some people may say, "Well, it's expensive." But let me ask you one single question: how much is your life worth?
Hmm.
Right? It's definitely not that expensive. Okay. So getting rid of a habit or two is enough to really be able to do this. And what I took away from Brother John's testimony, he says, you know what? If you think it's expensive, just sell it. Share it with other people. They would appreciate it, what you have shared with them. So that's what I have for everybody, just to basically let you guys know, hey, this thing is reversible. In fact, it is my suspicion that it is engineered. I don't have proof, but I do believe it is engineered. And if it's engineered, then we can reverse it. And thank God he put everything in nature that would allow us to do just that.
Wow. Thank you, King. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. Listen, we're all fractions on this platform, and it's only when we come together we make one. And Brother Wayne's sentiments is kind of like the glue between all of what we've been talking about today. So I'm humbled by your sentiments, my brother. Thank you so much. We have Brother Alex chiming in again. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, I just want to test the fact and verify. Like you said, we were on a call earlier. I was on a call earlier with you. It lasted more than 2 hours. And my brothers, your health is your wealth. You could have $1 million, but the thing is, if you don't have no health, that $1 million is going to be eaten up. And what I love about it, Brother Wayne said that most things are reversible once you give the body the food it needs from the plants that were created that you should be eating, but because of technology, because of time, because people in a rush, they eat a lot of processed food. And just how Brother Wayne said, sugars and everything, sugars in your toothpaste, sugars in your body wash, everything has sugar. So when you use these things, you get elevated sugar. And what Brother Wayne has said, once we monitor things to know what the numbers are and we control the numbers, we control our health. If you have $1 million and you buy a Ferrari for $500,000, instead of buying a cheaper car, you already lost $500,000. So it's all about the numbers. As we watch our health, we watch our sugar numbers, we control it, we reverse a lot of issues that could be generated because it's about them using a product to practice on you as a specimen. Why practice when food from the plants which created to feed our bodies? We're diverting from what originally was for us intended to eat, and now we're using modified foods instead of using plant-based. These products are plant-based. Feed your body the plants, the body corrects the issues that you are suffering from. So thank you, Brother Wayne, for jumping in and sharing. I love your sentiments, my brother. Back over to you, Brother Five.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Alrighty, it's 30 minutes past the hour of 9 p.m. here in the UK. What an amazing session we've had today. I'm not sure if there's anybody else that would like to chime in. I just want to remind everybody that we are here every Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time. I also do a slot Sunday midday, and that's for men and women. And that's every Sunday. So every Sunday morning at midday, I do a show, and then at 7 p.m. I do the men's only. The link is the same. And I also do a late night show on a Thursday, because I know some people, due to time or whatever else, they can't make it. But on a Thursday night, UK time, 10 p.m. at night, I do a show, myself and Laurie, LJ. We do a show, and that is for males and females, for everybody. So there's 3 opportunities for us to access these talks. The midday one on a Sunday at midday, the 7 p.m. one here on a Sunday, and then on a Thursday at 10 p.m. Alrighty. So on that note, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my co-host for being an amazing co-host, and for keeping everybody in check and for keeping things running smoothly. I want to thank Brother Cleverell, Brother Keith, Brother Chris, Brother Wayne, Brother Shellon, Brother Jimmy, Brother Lance, Brother Thomas, and those who I have not mentioned. I want to thank you all for being on the platform today. It's been amazing. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Please make sure you tell somebody, tell 2 people, tell 3 people, and let them know what they're missing. Alrighty, on that note, I want to thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you all same place, same time next week. Alrighty, my
Thank you very
brothers.
much.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. You're very, very welcome. Brother Wayne, brother Chris, and brother Sherlon, I will give you a call shortly. Alrighty?
Have a great day, guys.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty. Bye now.